Hello again and welcome to another edition of Go Ellsworth. Today I am at the Ellsworth Independent Reporter office with Linda Denning. I am always so happy to be here, and we are great partners here in Ellsworth, the Chamber and the Ellsworth Independent Reporter. So Linda, I'd just like to say thanks for having me today. I'm just excited to catch up with you and find out all that's new and happening at the Ellsworth County Independent Reporter.
Well, I think we talked earlier that it's been a really busy year.
Yes, ma'am.
Ellsworth is a really busy community. The whole county really has it going on. But
Yes.
As far as the paper, I would like to talk a little bit about, we are making a transition. Print obviously is still our foundation, our main source of support, but we're going to be offering a lot of new things, a lot of digital things to give our advertisers some more options.
Yes.
And one of the things, we've done a new website, and if people will go to our website and sign up, we will enter them in a drawing for a free year's membership to Rolling Hills Wildlife Adventure, which
fun.
is one of the coolest places
Yes.
ever.
Rolling Hills is such a great place.
Yeah, we are very fortunate to have it.
Okay, so let's just delve into that a little more. I'm so excited to hear more about that. So, hitting the digital world is indeed a huge transition. Mm-hmm. So, did your website didn't change? I mean, the website, you changed the website, but the address didn't change. So
No,
it's still
it's
Indie Rep News,
Yeah,
right?
it sure is.
IndieRepNews.com, correct? I have that one memorized because I go there often. Mm-hmm. Okay, but the whole design of the website has changed?
You know, to my eye, it hasn't changed that much.
Okay.
Our website designer tells me that it's changed a lot, but he also knows a lot more about websites than I do. But the big thing, we're actually trying to go more toward a sales plan that combines digital with print.
Okay.
And as part of that, on our website, we have an area that will actually take ads, and if you click on them, we actually create a little website for you off of our ad.
Oh, wow.
And in addition to your ad, it gives more information on your business.
Super.
So, yeah, so we're hoping that'll be a real benefit to advertisers.
Sure.
And we'll see how it goes. The next month or so, I'm going to be out talking to advertisers, and I want to do more than just tell them what we're offering them. I want to know from them what they need. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of things that we haven't thought of. And you know, if there's some things we can add to our offerings that is going to help them, mm-hmm. we want to do that. We want to be able to do that.
Sure. That's wonderful. Okay, so has that new website, the new look, already rolled out?
It is.
It's live?
It is.
Okay. And you can put your email in there in a certain place, or does that pop up as you get on?
No, you will have to go to our website, and then you'll click on.
There's a spot to click?
Yeah.
And how long do we have to put our email address in and then to be entered into that fabulous drawing?
It will be through October.
All the way
then
through the month of October.
The drawing will be in early November.
Okay. Okay, that sounds great. So you're a web designer. Is that somebody local? Do you have somebody local or somebody in-house do that? Or is that somebody outside of your main staff? Because your staff is so busy.
Well, and small.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
No, actually, it's someone out of state.
Okay.
It's someone who specializes in small newspapers.
Oh,
in
great.
fact, the owner of the company used to own several weeklies.
Great.
So, and that's one of the reasons that we went with them, was
Mm-hmm.
because he has background in weekly newspapers.
Yes.
And, you know, we've worked with several website designers over the years, and some of them never set foot in a newspaper before, but yet they're
Right.
trying to design websites for newspapers. And the fact that he had experience really appealed to me. So
Very good. That's wonderful that you can find somebody. You can always find somebody with expertise, but whether it's just what you need or if it's a good fit is always something
Yeah.
so important.
yeah.
Very good. So in your website too, I know that there are people who can get in because they're subscribers, right, and see more information than just the general public. Will that still be the case as well?
It will be. We're still behind a paywall.
Okay.
The ads aren't. The classified section has always been out so anyone can see it because, in our classifieds, we have houses for rent, apartments
Sure.
for rent,
Yes.
jobs, things, information that people really need to have. And for that reason, we open that up so the general public can see it. People out of state can see it. Anybody who clicks onto that can see it. But as far as the news content, there's a lot of investment that goes into that. And I've never believed, even in the early days of websites, that it should be a free commodity because it's not a free commodity.
Right.
It costs somebody to gather that news.
Sure.
And to research those sources and make sure that the information is accurate. So for that reason, as long as I'm here, probably we'll never have a totally free website.
And so, as a subscriber, then to explain to us how does that work when you jump on your website, indierepnews.com. I'll just plug that one more time, or
Thank
maybe
you.
2 or 3. And you're a subscriber. Then how do you get to that? How do you get to the news? Do you have to be a web subscriber?
Yeah, that would be our business manager's job, and she sets those people up. And all they do is they click on, you can see a front page on our website.
Okay,
They
yeah.
click on that front page, that takes you to a login, and then you just, I think, I'm just it automatically takes
Right,
me, but
sure.
I think you use your email address.
I
and that,
see. So it's just password protected, and you
Yeah.
just get that through.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's simple. Yeah.
Perfect.
I was trying to make it complicated, wasn't I? Yeah.
Very good. Well, that's really good. Okay, so as you talked about your business manager, and your staff and all of the research that goes into the news stories that we so appreciate, and your contributing writers too, that are so much fun. All those stories too are so much fun to read.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your staff, your core staff. Okay. I would just love to just talk just a brief moment about each one of them. But I want to start with you and your history here. We talked earlier about how long have you been here, and your comment was forever.
Yeah.
But I know there's a year value there somewhere, right? I know it feels like forever, and we're so thankful for you and your coverage of this wonderful county and beyond, because you do go beyond the county lines for sure.
Yeah, we do.
You have to, kind of, especially when you consider our school districts.
And that's what pushed us into the Claflin area.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's great to have that coverage in the school
Yeah.
districts that do kind of go beyond our county lines. Anyway, how long have you been here, Linda?
I came in 1999.
Really?
And we're actually, I don't know how most people know this, but we're actually a combination of 2 newspapers. The Reporter, which is almost as old as the town.
Yes.
And then the Independent, which is why I came here in 1999. And our first edition was actually in April of that year.
Okay.
And then a couple years later, we merged the 2 papers. And we've been a merged newspaper ever since.
Very good. So 1990, that's you're right.
I know.
It's a long time.
I know.
It feels like forever.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, it kind of feels like yesterday.
Right.
I can't believe it's been 20 years, but
Yeah.
it has been.
So great. All right, so let's talk about let's start with your business manager.
Okay, Juanita Kepka, and obviously that's a really familiar name around here.
Yes.
Juanita has almost been with me since the beginning. In fact, I just told this story last night. My partner and I founded Sharon Montag, and I
Yes.
actually did the paper to begin with. And Sharon left after, I don't know, a year and a half to go back to the Salina Journal where we both had worked before. And so I'm not a numbers cruncher. I can't think of a more boring way to spend a day. And so I needed somebody, because Sharon was kind of taking care of the business side and I was taking care of the editorial side. And I'd seen Juanita. She used to be the Lorain City Clerk. And I'd seen her in a meeting and I thought, she really knows what she's doing. And so when Sharon told me that she was going to go back to the Journal, I don't even know if she got out anything else. I'm like in my car driving to Lorain to say, Juanita, would you consider coming to work for the paper? And she did. And she's been here ever since.
Yeah. And she does a great job.
She does. And, you know, another story this morning, I was talking to somebody else in the industry, and they said, you know, we think the future of newspapers is multitasking. And I kind of chuckled because everybody here, I mean, we are so far ahead of our time. That's true. Yeah, Juanita, she does the business stuff, but she also lays out pages. She proofreads, as everybody here does. Alan Roche is our advertising director.
Right.
But he also covers meetings, he lays out pages, he does everything.
Right.
And Bill Beckmeyer is our graphic designer. He just sold an ad page, and we had someone come through Ellsworth yesterday, walking through Ellsworth.
Yes.
Which I might ask you, what is the deal with all these people?
I don't know. We're so fortunate. We just have all kinds of people.
I know, they're just walking through.
Yeah, I guess we're just in the middle of everything, which is just great. It's a tagline, maybe. I don't know.
I think so. But yeah, Bill actually interviewed him yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
It was
I know.
Bill?
You could see the panic in his face as I said, Bill, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do this. But yeah, and everybody, which I think is a good example of how open everybody is to stepping up and doing what needs to be done.
All for the good of the paper, right?
Yeah, and the community.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, is that everybody?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, we do have a new employee.
Oh.
Kimberly Meyer
Oh, yes.
is starting. She just, in fact, this is her backdrop we borrowed to use for the segment.
Awesome.
But she is really interested in photography, and so she's taken some photos for us, and is also very comfortable with digital, which we really need that.
Yeah.
Because I know you're not supposed to consider age, but, you know, most of us here were not raised with digital, with computers and all of that. So we need someone who's really comfortable with them.
Yeah, it does make a difference.
It does. It does. And I think she's going to bring that to the paper, and that's awesome. I'm really excited about that.
Very good. I did have a chance to meet her when Jeremy Miller was coming through town, and she came and covered that. So
yeah,
I was so glad that she popped up. It was nice to meet her.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good. All right. So another thing I wanted to talk about was just with those staff, and Ellsworth is, I mean, we're not a huge county, but there's still, like you had said earlier, so much going on. Mm-hmm. So what does a staff meeting, for example, look like here? How do the four of you, so to speak, or maybe there's here and there's got to be other stuff, but how do you guys cover all that's going on in all of our communities throughout the county, and the sporting events and everything else that's going on? I mean, it just kind of boggles my mind how everything gets covered.
Well, it doesn't.
Right.
Just ask anybody; they will tell you. But no, yeah, we work very hard. But we also have Shirley Schroeder Cox.
Yes.
Is one of our offsite people. She covers ball games for us. She's a very good photographer.
Yes.
We have a freelance writer who is a very good writer, and she's done a lot of the feature stories that you've seen in the paper. And it's things like that that kind of free us up, that we can cover the city council meetings, the school board meetings, you know, the stuff that I don't know how to put this. It's really one of our jobs. I think our responsibility, and that it's something that I'm not sure is ever going to change for newspapers, that people need to know what's happening in their local government.
Yes.
And they're not going to go to the meetings to find out, but they can pick up that week's paper and find out what happened. And it also, I've read studies that, you know, you hear a lot these days about news deserts, and
Yes.
that these places without newspapers, they don't have as many people file for jobs in government. They, you know, the people who are in those jobs maybe aren't quite as cautious about some of their activities, you know, because there's nobody there to challenge them if they do something that may not be intentional. You know, I've been at meetings that the city council, not Ellsworth, but I will not name the where it happened, but they violated the open meetings law. And
Sure.
I was there to say, excuse me, you know, that's not the way you're supposed to do it. And it wasn't that they intended to break the law, they just didn't know what they were supposed to do. So, and the other thing is that, you know, if you do want to find out what's going on, like if you're interested in the city, if you're interested in the school board, they do put their notes on their websites. But how many websites do you have to go to? How much time do you have to spend going
Right.
through all of that? So, you know, again, all you have to do is, for $1.25, pick up the paper, or less if you do a year's subscription. You know, all of that information is available in one place. And it's also a place that if you don't agree, or you do agree, or you know, want to tell somebody how great you think your community is, we have a place for that too.
Yeah. To write a letter to the editor is you know, that freedom of speech that
Yeah.
you can use in different ways.
Right.
That letter to the editor is one place to do it.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite letters are always those people from out of town who, it just gives you such great pride to see a letter come in just telling you, hey, I was in Ellsworth and the community stepped up and did this or did that, and it was just a
Right.
great place to be, and we were so happy that we got this, or we did this, or whatever. I love those kind of letters.
Oh, yeah.
They make you happy.
Yeah.
They make me happy too.
Yeah.
Some people want to pick up that paper and find that controversy. I get that. For me, it's more about just the kudos that you find, and
Yeah.
those are important too.
Well, and those stories, the controversial stories, you know, you have to have those.
Sure.
But they're hard for the staff to write too,
I'm
because
sure.
these are our neighbors.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
you just have you know, I worked in Salina for a lot of years, and I was involved in the community, but there wasn't that closeness that there is in a smaller community
Right.
like Ellsworth and
Yeah.
Ellsworth County.
Yeah. You forget, I'm sure, for those of us that are sitting on the outside of these walls, we don't know, or we don't keep in mind, or we forget that those things you're writing about, just like you said, people that you know and people that you care about.
Yeah.
and you forget, you just have to come at that story from a whole different angle,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the difficulty that must, the
Yeah.
challenge that must be.
And there are times that I handle stories differently here than I would have in Salina.
I can
Maybe I
imagine.
write them a little bit differently, so they're not quite as flamboyant as they would have been if I'd have written them for the Salina Journal.
Yes,
Yeah.
which we appreciate too.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. So just another contributor that I would mention would be Jim Gray.
Oh, yeah.
And I know people all over that write for those, or that, I told somebody just the other day on the phone, he was asking about Jim, and I said, he writes for our paper all the time, and we just get the greatest, he's just a wealth of information and such a beautiful historian. So
For sure. Yeah.
we always appreciate those too.
Yeah.
Those are just articles to be cherished, and he'll never share all of his knowledge with any, completely. Like, how can he give of himself completely to anyone quite, share all that information that he has? But
Which he's still collecting.
yes, exactly. We'd love to have him around forever and ever.
Yeah.
I know that won't happen, but so thankful that we have that written word and that we can go back in the archives.
Well, and he's, well, you talk about accuracy.
Oh.
Yeah, Jim just, yeah, I don't even know how to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just very careful in what he writes because he wants that history to be accurate.
Yes.
And yeah, I get to, I do the editorial page, so I get to read his column first every week.
Right,
And
yes.
it's like, somebody will say, you need to do this. Haven't you got that done yet? I was like, go away, I'm reading Jim's column. Yeah.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
so good. All right. Well, we just have a couple of minutes left, Linda, but is there anything else specific that you would like to share? Or shall we go back to that transition one more time?
Well, yeah, I hope that, people really, go to the website, try to get, put your name in for a drawing. But, mostly, I just really want to thank people in Ellsworth County for the support we've
Sure.
had over the years. We get complaints, everybody gets, and, sometimes those tend to be on our minds more than the good comments.
Of course.
But the reality is, this is a great newspaper town, and people have been so supportive, and it's just been a great 20 years.
Yeah. Well, we're so thankful. We're thankful for you keeping this newspaper going, but we're thankful for the newspaper too, and all your staff and all that y'all do to keep it going and to keep us informed every week, and all the coverage that you provide. We get that you can't get everywhere. We
you.
understand.
Can
Not
I
everybody understands.
have a sign?
Yes. Somehow we need to put that in words for
Yeah.
your front door. We
Exactly.
get that you can't be everywhere and everyone to every person, but we're so very thankful for everything that you do.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations on your 20 years, and congratulations on this next step. So be sure to go to indyrepnews.com and get your email in there so that they can continue what they're doing. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.